guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to another video. It's that time of the week again. It's Premier League predictions time. The final game week is upon us. We are into the final game of the season and we have still got a fair bit to decide in going into the final 90 minutes of the 2023-24 campaign. We've still got a relegation battle to decide. We've still got European football places to determine. And of course, we have still got a Premier League title that needs to go to one of Manchester City for the fourth time in a row, or Arsenal for the first time in 20 years. Of course, certain teams will need help from others going into the final game of the season, and other teams will just need to hold their nerve if they are to achieve big success this season, and it's all to play for those particular aspects of this current campaign. Before we get into all of that though, and talking about the games, analysing them, and of course predicting them, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated, and also get involved in the comments section. This is the final time to do it this season, people, so do get involved with your thoughts, comments, opinions, but most of all, of course, your predictions on how you think each and every single game will go this weekend. In particular, the ones that have got teams playing for something, whether it be a relegation battle, whether it be for European football, or whether it be for the Manchester City or Arsenal games that are, of course, going to determine who wins the Premier League title this season after going right the way down to the wire. Okay, we all good? We all set? We're all strapped in and we're all ready to go. So for the final time this season, let's get into the predictions. And first and foremost, we have got Brentford against Newcastle. Big game, this one for Newcastle, because obviously this could determine European football for them over which one they're going to get. Of course, they're being hotly contested with Manchester United, of course. But Newcastle hold the goal difference going into this game. They know that a win will confirm their situation at the very least for next season in the Europa Conference League. And if Chelsea are to lose their game, there is of course the realization that Newcastle could even make it into the Europa League if that is to be the case, following the missed opportunity that was presented to them when they lost to Manchester United midweek. Big game for Newcastle. What we've seen of Brentford these past few weeks is a team that's clearly on the beach. They're clearly safe and sound. They're not overexerting themselves. They're not doing anything exceptional. So this one should be there for the taking as far as what Newcastle are concerned. A team that's not playing for anything against a team that has got something to play for. Newcastle should get the job done, and I'm going for a 2-1 win in favour of Newcastle in this one. Next up, we've got Brighton against Manchester United, and I've gone with a 2-1 win to Manchester United. I think United, again, are playing for European football. They, of course, have a bit of a safety net, because if they don't get into European football through the league position, they will, of course, achieve it if they win the FA Cup as well. But then again, it's probably a much more difficult ask in beating Manchester City in the FA Cup final at Wembley to come. But no, here's the situation. If United win and Newcastle lose, they of course achieve Europa Conference League for next season. May not be the best thing for United, but it's still at least something, and I think United needs some form of European football. A team of this caliber definitely needs European football of some kind. But of course, if they lose this, then they will lose that right to qualify for Europe, unless they can pull off what would be some sort of miracle by beating Manchester City on in the FA Cup final. Now, what we know of Brighton is that Brighton are very tough opposition. What we know of Brighton is that they play some very nice football. What we know of Brighton is that they can be pretty awkward to face. Now, what I will say is that obviously Brighton have had a few injuries this season. Their season hasn't quite hit the heights of previous campaigns, and they've dropped off a little bit this campaign. But they are still a very good footballing side that, of course, could rip United apart on their day. However, with Brighton not really playing for anything, with the incentive on Manchester United to play for at least something and hope that other teams do them a favour, I've gone with a United win. Bit awkward and maybe against the grain here, because obviously we know that United's record against Brighton, particularly away from home, isn't exactly great. But I just think individual moments and obviously with the incentive of playing for not only European football, but for a place in the FA Cup final for a lot of these players, could be on the line. Now, of course, with the injuries this season, it could change. Ten Hag may decide to throw away this game, rest a few key players, put some kids out there, enjoy the final game of the season in favour of maybe resting his players for the final. Although, then again, saying that, teams normally do well when they carry momentum from game to game within a short space of time. So it'd be interesting to see how Erik ten Hag approaches this one. I'm expecting a possession-based game from Brighton in which United will counter-attack and will have plenty of joy in what is quite a fragile Brighton defence, which is why I have gone for United to get the job done and to win this game. Next up, I've gone with another 2-1 to Nottingham Forest in this one. Forest are pretty much safe when they take on the already relegated Burnley on Sunday. There is some sort of 11-goal swing, I think, that is needed between themselves and Luton. And obviously Luton will need to win. Forest will need to lose. There needs to be an 11-goal swing of goal difference between themselves and Luton. But I think Forest are pretty much safe and have confirmed their Premier League status for at least another season in terms of this. So I'm not expecting an amazing game by any stretch of imagination. I'm expecting Burnley just to enjoy it, just throw caution to the wind and just give their supporters at least something to be going down to the Championship with. That will make them at least a little bit happy for the season, a little bit optimistic that they can bounce up again for the next campaign. But at the same time, I think Forest will have enough in the attacking third just to get over the line, get the 3 points, and just safely confirm their Premier League status for another season without any risk of anything incredible, phenomenal happening in terms of that 11-goal swing, which I've previously discussed. So Nottingham Forest to win 2-1 is what I've gone for here. Another 2-1. I didn't actually realise I've gone with so many 2-1s. Chelsea against Bournemouth, next game of focus. Chelsea, of course, playing to confirm their Europa League status for next season. Of course, a season that has been a bit of a car crash for them, in all honesty. But at the end of the season, they seem to have picked up form when it mattered most. And Chelsea could very much be on course for a 5th place finish if they win their game and if Tottenham lose theirs, which would be phenomenal for a Chelsea side that has been so much in the mud and so much talked about and said about them across the season. They go up against the Bournemouth side who play some good football, but again, they're another team that's on the beach. They've had a very good season under Areola. They've had a better season than what I think a lot of people would have imagined. And of course, they're just playing out for pride now. They've already achieved a very good season in terms of points, in terms of points total, in terms of the position in the table that they're currently at. So they're just on the beach. They're going to enjoy it for what it is. Dominic Solanke will probably get on the score sheet just to increase his goal tally for the season, which has been incredible, by the way, and fair play to him. But I'm expecting Chelsea by hook or by crook to get the result and to secure European football, Europa League football for the next campaign. And, maybe they'll be casting their eye over that Spurs game and just seeing if, obviously, Spurs slip up in their final game. They shouldn't, because of the opposition that Spurs are playing. But at the same time, it's always worth just having a look. It's always worth just having a look. So I've gone 2-1 to Chelsea. I'm expecting an interesting game there as the Blues take on the Cherries. But I'm expecting Chelsea to confirm their Europa League status for next season. Next up, Crystal Palace against Aston Villa. And I've gone with 2-2 for this one. I'm expecting goals galore here between a Crystal Palace side that are very much in form and an Aston Villa side who confirmed their well, not really at the hands of them, but thanks to Tottenham's defeat midweek to Manchester City, have confirmed their Champions League status for next season. A phenomenal, incredible campaign for Aston Villa. I think for Palace, they've had a very good end to the season, and that was needed, particularly because they obviously needed to, A, confirm their Premier League status for another campaign, and B, they need to show something under the new manager to get fans excited for the next campaign, and I think they definitely have that. We've already seen in such a short space of time Oliver Glasner really turn around this Crystal Palace side. Now, in this game, I've gone for 2-2 because I think that both teams will want to finish the season off on a high. But I can see Palace winning this, and it's probably just because Villa have had a long, tiresome campaign. Villa, away from home, we know that they're a bit awkward to predict at times. And not only that, but they're probably still hungover from celebrating confirming their Champions League status. So maybe Palace could take advantage of that if that is to be the case. Maybe there'll be some rotation. Maybe there'll be some sort of I don't know, some sort of change to the Aston Villa side, some sort of change to maybe the Crystal Palace side. Either way, I think both teams will want to try and finish off the season off on a high. It could make for a very interesting game, but I'm expecting goals galore here. So that's why I've gone with 2-2, but I wouldn't be surprised if Palace were to go on and win this game. Next up, it's going to be an emotional one. Tissues at the ready. It's Liverpool, their final home game under the management of Jurgen Klopp, taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers. And I've gone with a 3-1 win to Liverpool. Liverpool have really let Jurgen Klopp down in these past couple of months. I think the players have. I'm not saying Jurgen Klopp is completely blameless, but I think a lot of what has happened in terms of Liverpool's season collapse has basically been at the fault of the players. In saying that, I'm hoping that they give him the send-off he deserves. Now, this should have been more, of course, because we should be playing for a lot more towards the end of the season. We should be in a Europa League final. We should be battling. We should at least be in the FA Cup final, of course, and we should obviously be battling it out for the Premier League title at this stage of the season. But, of course, the end of season collapse has seen all of those dreams completely go up in flames. So it's not exactly the riding off into the sunset that I think we all would have hoped for Jurgen Klopp, but we can still enjoy the minutes that we have with him for what they are worth and for all that we have. I'm expecting Liverpool to win. I'm expecting it to be a very party-like atmosphere. I'm expecting it to be full of chants of Jurgen Klopp, full of happy vibes and full of, hopefully some good football. Hopefully some really good football. And, I think it'll be amazing if Jurgen Klopp can get the win in this final game as Liverpool manager, especially at home in front of the Kop. I think it would be absolutely incredible. And I think afterwards, the speech he'll probably give and everything else that will probably happen in terms of celebrating Jurgen Klopp's managerial career at Liverpool and all that he achieved with the club is going to be something well worth watching. Something well worth watching that Sky has actually put them on TV for this weekend ahead of both games that are going to be deciding a title, which shows you just how massive Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool are. That, of course, that has happened, much to the fume, I assume, of those that are obviously not going to be on watching it. I think I got that right. Anyway, what I'm expecting from this game is Wolves to try and spoil the party, but Wolves have been another team that's been on the beach for the past few weeks, so I'm hoping that Liverpool will take advantage of that. They have an incentive there to obviously send Jurgen Klopp off in the best possible way into the sunset with 3 points and a big win under their belts to round off what has been a pretty good season by Liverpool, by what Liverpool were hoping for at the beginning of the campaign. A title race that obviously faltered in the final few games of the season, but ultimately was probably achieving target overall. I'm hoping Liverpool get the job done. I'm hoping Liverpool win, send Jurgen Klopp into the sunset, and I'm hoping that there is plenty of good football, some really good goals to really round off his managerial career with the Reds for. Obviously, I don't think any game of Jurgen Klopp would be complete without maybe a Jurgen Klopp yellow card. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gives the officials one last yelling at, I guess you'd say, from Klopp. So yeah, very much bittersweet this one, particularly for Liverpool fans, and obviously I include myself in that, of course. Bittersweet. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a fun game, but as well, it's going to be bitter because this is the final time we will ever see Jurgen Klopp in a Liverpool dugout. Probably in a competitive manner. He might come back for like a Legends game or something. So we shall see on this one, but it's going to be an emotional one. 3-1 to the Reds, hopefully, because, Jurgen Klopp will probably get a yellow card, and Liverpool do concede stupid goals. So Wolves will spoil the party in that way, and referees will spoil the party in that way, but there you have it. Next up, Luton Town against Fulham. I've gone with 2-1 to Luton. Fulham are on the beach and have been so for the past few weeks. We've seen that, we know that, and obviously with Luton Town playing for their Premier League lives, I expect them to leave it all on the pitch on Sunday. I've gone with 2-1 to Luton. It could be more. I'm expecting Luton to win this one. I think they'll have the incentive to go on and win it. But I don't think, obviously, with saying that Forest will win earlier, it will be enough to confirm their relegation, their Premier League status for another season. And they will be confirmed as being relegated alongside, of course, their former promoted sides in Burnley and Sheffield United, of course. Big season for Luton. It was always going to be an uphill battle, but I think they can leave with their heads held high. They battled for everything. They just ultimately haven't got the quality in key areas. They're ultimately just, unfortunately for them, and with all due respect to them, just not good enough at this level as of right now, unfortunately. But I'm expecting them to keep it interesting. I'm expecting them to do their part and to win their game. But ultimately, I don't think it'll be enough, considering that Nottingham Forest will win their game. Next up, Sheffield United are going to be taking on Tottenham Hotspur. Sheffield United already relegated, of course, playing for pride. I'm expecting them to ship a few more goals between now and the final 90 minutes of the season. And, take their goals against tally up even further. And I'm expecting Tottenham to do that. And I'm expecting Tottenham to confirm their position in 5th, which will make a very good season for Ange Postecoglou. And a very good platform in which to build upon for future campaigns to come. Of course, Postecoglou's had a lot to say about Spurs this week, and it's not all been good. But I'm expecting them to get back to winning ways from their defeat to Manchester City, and I'm sure that when they do win, nobody will be crying from the Spurs end on this one. So, I'm expecting Spurs to win this one. Not really much to say other than Tottenham just leaving their fans with at least a little bit of something to, of course, end the season on a positive note, and to obviously bounce back from what has been, a pretty difficult few weeks, I would say. Pretty difficult few weeks. Penultimate game, we're going to be talking about the title race, and first up we've got Arsenal against Everton. I've gone with a 2-0 win to Arsenal. I'm expecting the Gunners to do their part in this title race, win their game against Sean Dyche's side. Now, Sean Dyche's side have picked up a bit of form in the last few weeks and have really ended the season on a bit of a high. But at the same time, in saying that, of course, they're coming up against an Arsenal side with a bit between their teeth and, of course, are winning games by any means necessary to put all the pressure in the world on Pep Guardiola's side, so that if Pep Guardiola's side slip up, they will be there to capitalise. Arsenal to win this game by 2-0 is what I've gone for. Of course, Everton will not be a rollover. It won't be easy for Arsenal in any way, shape or form. They'll have to be wary of the counter-attacking ability of Sean Dyche's side, as well as the physical attributes of his squad as well. And, of course, the set pieces that Arsenal have prided themselves on this season. Everton are no stranger to scoring from a set piece themselves either. So there are a few ways for this Everton side to really hurt this Arsenal side. But of course, all Arsenal need to do is get the job done on their part, and then whatever may be when West Ham take on Manchester City. They'll be hoping that West Ham can do them a favour. But unfortunately, I don't see that happening. I see Manchester City taking the Premier League title. I'm expecting Manchester City to win. I'm expecting City to hold their nerve going into the final game of the season. And I think in typical Manchester City way, I think I can speak from experience on this because I've been there a couple of times. I'm expecting City to actually go behind within the opening half an hour or so. I'm expecting West Ham to score first and to make it kind of interesting and kind of a bit, ooh, what could happen here? And then City will go on and dominate as they tend to do and win the game fairly comfortably. Final game of his managerial career as well for David Moyes. Of course, it's not just Jurgen Klopp that's going to be leaving his club. It's going to be David Moyes as well. He leaves a West Ham legend after guiding West Ham to multiple finishes within the European football places, and of course winning a Europa Conference League last season. I think his reign has been nothing short of incredible. And of course, West Ham will begin a new chapter in the summer. But as for Manchester City, this will be their day. This will be a 4th Premier League title in a row. I'm banking on City to go out and see out the rest of the campaign now. Top of the table, 90 minutes still left to play. And I'm expecting them to go on and beat West Ham, as they usually tend to do in this kind of position. West Ham on the beach, not really playing for anything, so I'm expecting City to win. But I think just to keep things interesting, I'm expecting West Ham to get an early goal, and then for them to see the game completely disappear from them, as City manage to equalise and then go on to win fairly comfortably. City to win by 3-1, get the 3 points, and claim a 4th Premier League title in a row, as far as what Pep Guardiola is concerned. And there you have it. Those are the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, for this guy in terms of obviously the final Premier League game of the season to come this Sunday. I have gone for Manchester City to be Premier League champions and finish off West Ham this weekend to confirm their 4th Premier League title in a row. I've gone with Luton Town to confirm to be relegated, and I've gone with Chelsea and Newcastle to confirm their status in European football for next season. But of course, those are just the predictions of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of all the games to come up this weekend? What are your own thoughts, comments, opinions? But most of all, of course, what are your predictions on each and every single game to come up this weekend, particularly the ones that I've got something to play for, of course. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings down below in the comment section. Mainly your predictions, though, because after all, this is a Premier League prediction show after all, people. So let me know what you guys think and feel down below. I'm sure it'll make for incredible and great reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly. I feel like I just said that. My memory is gone. Anyway, we greatly appreciate it anyway. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Premier League predictions video for the final time of the 2023-24 campaign. Enjoy it, guys, for what it is. And, you know, good luck to both Arsenal fans and Manchester City fans this weekend. Good luck to Luton, Forest, Chelsea, you know, all fans that are playing for something on Sunday. Good luck to all of you lot. I'll just be enjoying the final minutes that I have of Jurgen Klopp being Liverpool manager. Anyway, take it easy, guys. Have a good one. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.